Good afternoon. My name is Alex Ochoa, a student of Computing NCG, Canary Wharf campus in the city of London. And today I'm going to talk about the process of traffic between networks in two ways called write B2 and static routing. The routing is the process of forwarding data packets from one network to another. Routers use routing tables to decide the best path for traffic. There are two major ways routers learn routes. First is static routing, second, dynamic routing. Static routing requires manual configuration by a network administrator. Dynamic routing protocols automatically learn and update network paths. One common dynamic routing protocol is RIBE2, which stands for Routing Information Protocol version 2. Static routing use manually configured routes. The administrator defines exactly where traffic should go. RIBE2 works automatically. Routers exchange routing information with neighbor routers and calculate paths using hop counts. A hop count represents the number of routers a packet passes through before reaching its destination. RIBE2 supports a maximum of 15 hops, which means it's best suited for small to medium-sized networks. The biggest difference is simple. Static routing depends on human configuration. RIBE2 automatically adapts to network changes. Network environment and use cases. Two network diagrams. Small office using static routing and larger enterprise using RIBE2. Static routing is commonly used in small networks with stable connections or backup paths. Because routes rarely change, static routing is simple and efficient. RIBE2 is more useful in networks with multiple routers, alternative paths, and frequent topology changes. Another important feature of RIBE2 is support for VLSM, or Variable Length Subnet Masking. This allows networks to use different subnet sizes efficiently. For example, one subnet may need 200 hosts while another only needs 20. RIBE2 can support both efficiently. Cisco configuration commands. Now, let's look at some Cisco configuration examples. To enable RIBE2, administrators typically use these commands: router RIBE, version 2, and no autosummary. The version 2 commands enable RIBE2. The no autosummary commands allow classless routing and subnet support. For IP route 192.168.2.0, 255.255.255.0, 10.0.0.2. This is an example of a static route. It manually tells the router to reach the destination network to the next hop address, 10.0.0.2. The network commands tells the router which interfaces should participate in RIBE updates. Performance and convergence. One major difference between these routing methods is performance. RIBE2 sends routing updates every 30 seconds using multicast address 224.0.0.9. Because of this, it consumes bandwidth and CPU resource. Static routing, however, generates no routing update traffic at all. When a network failure occurs, RIBE2 can automatically find alternative routes. This process is called convergence. However, RIBE convergence is relatively slow compared to modern routing protocols. Static routing doesn't now automatically recover from failures. If a link goes down, an administrator must manually reconfigure the route. Security considerations. Security is another important factor because RIP2 exchange routing updates automatically. Malicious routers could inject fake routing information into the network. To reduce this risk, administrators can enable MDC MD5 authentication. RIP authentication mode MD5 is the command for apply this kind of security code. Static routing is generally more secure because no routing updates are changed. However, manual configuration introduces the possibility of human error, such as routing loops or incorrect paths. Scalability and management. As networks grow larger, management becomes more challenging. Static routing becomes difficult to maintain because administrators must manually update every route. RIP2 simplifies management by automatically learning routes. However, RIP has scalability limitations because of its 15 hop maximum. That means it's not suitable for large enterprise networks. General use static routing for small, stable, or stub networks. Use RIP2 for small dynamic environments requiring automatic updates. In conclusion, static routines is simple, secure, and resource efficient, but requires manual management. RIP2 automates routing and adapts to network changes, but consumes resource and has scalability limitations. Both methods are still important concepts for networking, students, and CCNA certification preparation. That's all. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more networking tutorials. Bye.